Hey, welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Videos. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into some recent DC comics that have come out. Going to have a little bit of Christmas gift action going on. Plus we're going to have something for the ladies at the beginning and at the end of the show. As I mentioned, we'll be talking about a lot of DC comics. The next round of KO is here. So a lot of good stuff coming up. As always, please hit like if you like the video. If you want to wait to the end, that is fine too. I would appreciate you liking the content. Subscribe to the channel, all those wonderful things. I think Pro Football Focus did a study that shows that people's brain power, their brains get something like 4 to 8% larger from watching Heroes and Videos. Now, that statistic, like so many others, was completely made up, but I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the show. First up is that Christmas present I mentioned. I got this for Christmas. It is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and it's a really cool looking hardcover of the Tom King story on which the new Supergirl movie is going to be based. That trailer's out. I hope you've seen it. Check it out. It is, if you're into trailers, as am I, you should enjoy it. There might be a certain can't even remember what the nickname is. Oh, the main man might be showing up in that trailer. But this is just a beautiful book. I've not read this book. It's really curious because my daughter got this for me for Christmas, and in a sort of monkey paw weird Christmas thing, I got her a trade paperback of the same storyline. But she wins Christmas because, well, she and my son, my whole family wins Christmas. They're always awesome. But in terms of that back and forth between the gifts, yeah, she got me a better copy. But really like it. It's also, this is the regular cover, or the what do you call it, the case, the flip cover. But the actual hardcover of the book is a really cool different print there with Supergirl in a different position. But it is a beautiful book. Read a little bit from the back cover. This struck me as in a nutshell encapsulating a better take on Supergirl than I think I can ever remember. It wasn't a huge Supergirl fan, but I never felt like DC got a real handle on her. It says here, for Kara Zor-El, life feels like meaning, or life feels without meaning or purpose. Her planet was destroyed. She was sent to Earth to protect a baby cousin who never needed saving, forever living in his shadow, the Supergirl to his Superman. So I just thought that was a neat little paragraph. I mean, here she, planet's wiped out. She's sent to Earth to protect her baby cousin, but he's already grown by the time she gets here. I mean, he never needed saving. I mean, I just thought that was the neat encapsulation of a take on Supergirl I had not really thought about before. The inside of this book is beautiful. I mentioned it's a hardcover. I'll try not to spoil anything if you haven't read it, but there are just some great sequences in here. Some just beautiful art. The colors are amazing. I was so excited. I haven't read it yet, but I was so excited Christmas morning getting this thing. There's another great reveal there when we see that S show up. There's another, I got so excited I read the first issue. It is, I believe, a 12-issue series, and I don't want to flip too far ahead in it because I haven't read it yet. But it's just, in terms of the colors, and it's just beautiful, beautiful book. Check that out. Yeah, just really like this. So looking forward to reading it. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the deluxe edition. Go out there, get the trade. Support your local comic shop. Buy that. Read it before the film comes out this summer. We'll be doing more about that, obviously, as it drops. Next up is Detective Comics 1104. Really been enjoying this book. This cover, this variant cover, or the cardstock cover, I guess I should say, it is so realistic, particularly that guy at the bottom, the corpse, if you will. That's just so lifelike, man. Look at that thing. Sorry about the reflection, but this is just a really cool Batman cover. Commissioner Gordon and and Batman over that corpse. It's a really great storyline that got me back into reading detective here around 1100, where Batman's investigating, Batman and Mr. Terrific, and who else shows up in there? Lois Lane investigating something that's going on that's making people lose their fear. It's kind of the opposite of the Scarecrow fear drug thing. It's losing your fear and inhibitions, and it's really cool because they're looking into what would happen if Batman loses his fear and inhibitions. Will he be, will he be able to operate and function? And because, spoiler, he's gotten this virus, or he's gotten this fear contagion, or this non-fear contagion, he's worried how his judgment will be affected. There's a little scene in there where he gives Superman, basically Batman's kryptonite. He gives Superman the plans, like how he would defeat himself, like the thing that Batman would want people to have, his best friend, or or at least Superman to have, if Batman ever needed to be stopped. And Clark asked him an interesting question. He's like, "Would you have given me this if your judgment wasn't already impaired?" And he doesn't know. Batman doesn't know. So it's raising some interesting questions. It's a beautiful book. The art, the colors, the covers, just a really good storyline. So I recommend you check it out. Speaking of really cool covers and art, here's the last issue of Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, number 5. He's fighting like Lex Luthor as a Kryptonite man there on the cover. Just love these variant, or I don't even know what's a variant, these cardstock covers that DC's putting on their stuff. This one was out a few weeks ago, but I just picked it up. Really enjoyed that series. I have to admit, I feel like they didn't stick the landing. They could have. Something kind of comes out of nowhere, and at the end of this, and they allude to it a little bit in this story, I felt like they made a choice that I might have not chosen in terms of wrapping up that story. But it's a really good book. Superman, the Kryptonite Chronicles. It's kind of a flashback to like the Golden Age, kind of wacky, kooky, multiple colored kryptonites. So that's kind of neat. Now let's get into KO, right? DC's big event. Won't bore you with all the stuff leading up to it or fill you in. I've got plenty of other videos about that, and we'll do a spoiler-filled deep dive at some point. One of the books involved in DC KO, like as a tie-in, is Justice League Unlimited. This is Mark Waid. Been crushing it on this book for the 14 issues that are out, just like he is with World's Finest. Really, pound for pound, some of the best comic books out there in terms of just good, fun comics. I mean, we're not talking about anything super deep here. It's just heroes, heroine, right? This is a three-parter. Actually, it's going to be a four-parter, I guess. This is the third chapter, The Terrific 10. Mr. Terrific has brought together a group of heroes from a variety of different DC eras. You've got Blue, Electric Superman. You've got Hawkman, an otherworldly Hawkman. You've got Owlwoman, I think. You've got Power Girl, just, all sorts of different eras of different characters, and they get to interact together, and that's fun to see. But yeah, the Justice League Unlimited peripherally as part of the KO event. The KO event that I think the matchup everybody's been waiting for since this thing was announced. I think this is where we're going from 16 heroes down to 8 at this point. This is one of the one-shots in All Fight Month. It wasn't one of the regular books. Flash, Superman, I know I'm missing somebody in there. Justice League Unlimited. This one's a one-off, and again, that matchup everybody's been waiting for. Jason Todd and the Joker. I think in this variant cover, this cardstock cover, Jason Todd is holding the crowbar that we all remember from that Death of Jason Todd, or Death in the Family issue from way back when Joker killed that Robin. I do think, if I'm looking at this correctly, this little bang gun here, the Joker's little bang pistol, I think that little bang thing's going through Jason's leg, so blood drawn there. I really did enjoy this book. It's great seeing these two characters go at it with all the history they have, particularly that one Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo storyline, piece of history. The only issue I had with the book is these DC KO fights are like best 2 out of 3. Honestly, I mean, by the end of the book, I realized who had won, but a couple of the fights in here, it wasn't really clear to me initially who had won. I kind of had to do a reread to say, wait a minute, I'm not entirely sure who won that. And I feel like that's kind of a storytelling flaw either through art. Certainly the art should tell the story, and the dialogue if not. But and I figured it out, but I don't, just wasn't as decisively clear. Maybe that was intentional. It didn't read as if it was an intentional part of the story. So next up is another KO fight. This is the issue of Superman this month. Lex Luthor versus the Demon. That's what's going on here. Is Lex sporting Lex is sporting a beard here. I'd forgotten that from the book, I guess, that era. You can see he's in the 70s era battle garb. One of the conceits of these stories is that with the best 2 out of 3, every stage of that battle, the heroes can choose a different form, the heroes or villains, the participants, the combatants, can choose a different form that they've had in the past. Now, some characters, there's a multitude of forms. Guy Gardner, has had a number of takes on his character, different costumes, eras, if you will. Whereas Lex has had a few too, and the Demon maybe not so much. But this is great. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this so much, and there's a pretty neat twist in one of the rounds where I wasn't expecting how the character that wins that bout did so. I thought that was pretty neat. I like a twist. So now we're up to almost with that theme of a lot of the ladies this week. We've got Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. This was one of my favorite fights in all of the matchups we've seen so far. I'm not a huge fan of either character. I mean, they're both great. We've got on this cardstock cover, Harley is the rabbit in the hat, or coming out of the hat there. But it's a couple of gorgeous characters, fun characters. Harley's had any number of iterations that they touch on in this book. I don't know about Zatanna. I haven't followed either of the characters a lot, except for the stuff you might see. I've seen a few episodes of Harley's show, or her animated series. Zatanna, just the talking backwards thing. I don't read Justice League Dark, or didn't read that, but the sign of a great story, or really good story, is that you don't need to know all that backstory to enjoy this book. So it's really good. It was interesting to see which character moved on in each of these bouts. So that's it for KO this week. We do have a couple of Absolute books I want to talk about real quick. One is Absolute Superman, number 14. I've talked about this before on the channel. Absolute Superman, I wasn't a huge fan initially. After giving it some space and a number of issues that come out, I went back and reread them, and I'm really enjoying it. The thing about this character, just like my friendly neighborhood wall crawler here behind me, is that the character should inspire hope. That's what this character is about. Superman, if he's done well, it's about being better, our better selves. Doing what's right, even if it's difficult, and doing it because it's right. And this character, although initially I wasn't feeling that with this book, this character has stepped up any number of times, and this issue has another example of that, where they do the right thing because it's the right thing, and it just gives you those really cool Superman moments, like back from the Christopher Reeve movies and stuff, where oh wow, this is what this character's all about. Very few characters like that, I feel, at least in comics. Superman would be one. Spider-Man, obviously for me, is another one. Captain America, depending on who's writing it. I guess that's true with all of them. But yeah, that Absolute Superman is hitting that every now and then. It hits that moment where you realize, mainly from other people's reactions to the character, hey, this is the heart of Superman. This is what we love about this character. Now, a book I hadn't been following, but picked it up, and I think the marketing people knew exactly what they were doing with this cover and with this concept. It even says on the front, this is Absolute Wonder Woman number 15, even says at the top, the first ever Absolute team up is here. As you can guess, it's the Dark Knight himself, Batman, or Absolute Batman, that's here with Absolute Wonder Woman. I read the first issue or two of Absolute Wonder Woman. I hear great things about it. I just hadn't been picking it up. I enjoyed this book, and it really plays like all the best superhero team-ups. I mean, it feels meaningful. It takes me back to back in the day with the early Marvel comics where, when characters met and it meant something that this character was meeting for the first time, that there was some weight to that. And this feels like that. These characters, it's very impactful. It feels like, wow, this is the first meeting between them. This is, and I think it crosses over in that I believe she also stars in Absolute Batman, the next issue that comes out. I'm not sure which week that is. But beautiful art, just like this cover, just amazing. It is absolutely worth the read. Again, the best thing I can say about it is it feels like it's got weight. It feels like, hopefully if these absolute characters continue beyond KO, this is not part of the KO event. They were created out of DC's all-in stuff. I don't think that'll end with KO. It feels like they've got that KO might just be the first or second act of whatever story they're trying to tell. But this is it's just awesome. It's cool. The characters, it feels like, again, they've got weight to it. Their first meeting feels like their first meeting, and you feel like if these characters meet up again, I mean, there's history there. So love the interaction there. Plus, there's a really neat, without spoiling anything, there's a really neat Wonder Woman kind of twist or take that just really made me do a double take. And frankly, I think it's ingenious. I'm surprised somebody hasn't used it before. Don't think they have, but I loved that about the book. Would love to hear in the comments what you thought of it if you've read this. If you want to put spoiler on your comments if you don't want to spoil anybody else reading. But would be curious as to what you thought about that first team up with those two, particularly that Wonder Woman thing, if you know what I'm talking about, where it played back into Wonder Woman's origins, like her original origins and her original origin, and Absolute or not, and just a fascinating use of that. That's all I'll say about that because I don't want to really spoil any more than that. That is it for this week's episode of Heroes and Videos. Not this week. I'm going to have some more stuff coming out this week. Rams are in the playoffs, so excited about that. Rams Santa hasn't made an appearance in a while, so maybe he'll be back on the shelf here soon. I've got some great content coming up recently. Picked up some great old books. Obviously, we'll still be talking about new books, but I've been a little slack on getting the old books out there that I've picked up recently and have some real cool gems I cannot wait to share. So please click notifications so you get notified when I get that content up and running. With that being said, really looking forward to seeing Avatar with the Avengers trailer. We put that off for a few weeks. I'll see the last one. I think family's going this week or next, but we'll look forward to seeing that. And as always, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters, and be kind to each other.